Hi, I'm Christian Phillips. I'm the principal broker and owner of Inlet Realty and Property Management out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I'm here today to talk about multifamily property investing. When I talk about multifamily property, I'm talking specifically about properties that have one deed, but 2, 3, or 4 housing units on that one property. These properties are commonly known as duplexes, triplexes, and quadruplexes. Anything that has 5 or more units is actually considered commercial multifamily property, and we're going to talk about commercial real estate in our next video. Multifamily property is very often a better investment when it comes to cash flow when compared to single-family properties in the same neighborhoods. But not everything about multifamily property is better than single-family property. So today we're going to take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of multifamily property investing. Okay, so let's start with the good. Stable income. Rarely will all of your units be vacant at the same time. So the income on these properties is more stable than a single-family investment that is all or nothing. The financing is definitely an upside to multifamily property. You can use an owner-occupied mortgage to purchase a 2, 3, or 4 unit property as long as you live in one of the units. This is a practice that's commonly known as house hacking. With a single-family home, the only way to house hack is to live there for a year as your primary residence, because that's a requirement of most of those loan programs, and then move. Oftentimes, when the owner moves into a 2, 3, or 4 unit property, the remaining units produce enough rent that the owner can actually live there at very low cost or completely free of cost. Once the owner has lived in one of the units for a year, the owner-occupied requirement of the loan will be satisfied and they can move out and rent the remaining unit. But even if you aren't house hacking, multifamily properties typically provide better cash flow than single-family properties in the same neighborhood. Okay, so that all sounds great, right? What's the downside? First, the down payment on the financing. Multifamily property, 2, 3, and 4 unit properties typically require a minimum of 25% down if you're not using an owner-occupied loan. This makes the barrier to entry a little bit higher, but your property will end up cash flowing better as a result of the lower loan to value. Okay, what else? Limited availability. Multifamily property simply doesn't exist in every city or in every place that you would want to invest in. But when you find it, there's usually a lot of it there. But some areas have very little, if any, multifamily property available. Okay, so that's the bad. What's the ugly? There are some major hazards of owning and managing multifamily property. Cockroaches, rodents, and bed bugs can very easily travel from unit to unit and infest your entire building. Once any kind of those infestations spreads to more than one unit, you as the landlord will end up on the hook for the mitigation. Disputes between neighbors do happen in multifamily property, and you will end up playing babysitter from time to time, helping people get along in a close environment. This is where hiring a good property manager can make things a lot easier. Properties that were converted from a single-family home into a multifamily home have more risks than a property that was built as multifamily housing. Separating the utilities within a multifamily building that was built as a single-family building is often more difficult than people think it's going to be and can lead to surprises down the road. So here's some things to consider when you're out shopping for a multifamily investment property. Common areas. Common areas like porches and foyers and stairwells all need to be cleaned on a regular basis and will need maintenance over time. The best way that I found to deal with this is to give a rent credit to one of the tenants to clean those common areas on a regular basis and make sure that they stay that way. You just have to check up on them to make sure you're getting your money's worth. These areas see a lot of traffic, so there will be above average wear and tear in these spaces. For these common areas, you need to look at the utilities. If there are lights in the stairways or on the outsides of the building, somebody is paying for that electricity. You need to count the electric meters on the outside of the building and make sure that there are the appropriate number. If there are 4 units, you should have 5 electric meters. If you don't, then somebody is paying for those outside lights for everybody. So let's talk about laundry. It's always best to provide some type of laundry facilities for your tenant. Nobody likes going to the laundromat, and it will result in lower rents if you do not provide some sort of laundry facilities. In a single family rental, you should always provide laundry machines. The people who are renting that property do not have their own, odds are. And so if you do not provide them, that means they have to purchase them as soon as they move in, and that creates a higher barrier to entry for your property. In multifamily property, where there are no hookups for laundry machines in the units themselves, you can often find a space on the property or build a space on the property that acts as a shared laundry room. Common area laundry machines can actually be an additional source of income on your rental property. This is not a new thing. Landlords have been using coin-operated machines in common areas for decades. The technology has evolved significantly though, as have the business models revolving around these machines. My particular favorite approach is to lease the machines from a full-service laundry company. The latest in laundry machine technology allows the tenants to pay for the laundry with an app on their phones, and then the profits are directly deposited into your bank account. Common area laundry needs water and it needs power though, so if you're going to add this, you need to make sure that you have a plan for where those utilities are going to come from and how you're going to pay for them. Okay, the next concern, lawn maintenance. In single family investing, it's very easy. The tenant who lives in the property is responsible for the lawn care. But in multifamily property, it's not always that simple. Ideally, you will still find a solution where the tenant is responsible for the yard maintenance. How you handle this, though, is going to vary by what kind of property you have. Side-by-side duplexes can often have the yard split right down the middle, and each tenant takes care of their side. You just have to make sure that those lines are clearly defined and that the tenant has a place to keep the lawnmower if there isn't a garage. Up and down duplexes are handled differently. If the yard cannot be easily defined into 2 separate areas, the downstairs tenant is usually given exclusive use of the yard, and the upstairs tenant is marketed as maintenance-free living, where they don't have any sort of yard. Nobody uses a shared backyard. So if you don't define that somehow, you're going to be cutting the grass and nobody's going to be using it. Multifamily real estate investing is superior in many ways to single family real estate investing, but it is certainly not without its headaches. All of these little details can add up to be quite a pain for the owner. Finding a great property manager can keep a lot of those headaches from landing on your plate and let you scale much better. Okay, so what does the perfect residential multifamily property look like? Separate meters, separate lawns, no common areas, no owner-paid utilities. Does that property exist? There's a few of them out there, but most of them have some issues that you're going to have to work around. Just because it's less than ideal, though, does not mean it's not worth investing in. Commercial multifamily property, those that consist of 5 units or more, have even better returns than residential multifamily property, but also come with their own set of risks. In my next video, I'll be talking about all of the risks and rewards of investing in commercial multifamily property. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.